Hi, I'm Cat Navarro Lee with IdeateTV, and I'm here with Leslie, who's one of the founders of Dances with Films, on its 27th year, one of the biggest film festivals in Los Angeles, if not the biggest, right?
That's what we like to think.
Yeah. Leslie, this is so exciting just being around all of this, and I want to hear how it all started. And I read a little bit about it, but I want to hear from you.
No problem. Well, Dances with Films came out of needing to have a screening for a film that my co-founder, Michael Trent, and I had created. We had tried to get into some industry festivals. We didn't get in. We didn't realize the politics and like the fact that you really need to know somebody to get into them, especially back then when there wasn't as many festivals as there are now. Now there's a festival on every corner, it seems like, in every city, but back then it wasn't the same. So he came up with this crazy idea. I had actually met one of the publicists of Blair Witch, which was going really big at that time. So I said, look, I think it's the dumbest idea in the world. I said, but you know what? We'll take him out to lunch, and if he thinks it's great, I will follow you to the ends of the earth and make this happen. And we went to lunch, and obviously 27 years later, you can tell he thought it was a great idea. And so we pulled it all together in like 8 months. We called up Filmmaker Magazine and said, please, can we take it? Will you give us an ad? We're putting on this festival. And they went, no. And so, their policy was that only if you had done your film festival had to be over 5 years old. That was what it was. And then,
Chicken and egg.
I know, right? You know, but that goes to show you how many festivals don't make it past 5 years. So we took out a small ad. We got like 300 submissions the very first year, and then we threw it at we threw the screenings at Lemley, Santa Monica, and we called it Dances with Films because it was a play on Sundance. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Dances with Wolves," and we're like, "No, it wasn't Dances with Wolves. It's Dances with Films, and it's because of Sundance." And then they're like, "Oh, well, then you're all about dance movies," and we're like, "No, no more than Sundance is about sun or dance." You know, it's like. Right. So we had all these really things, but we got done with that first year. And then we had a gathering of the filmmakers who were in the festival that year. And we were like, yeah, it was just a one thing. It was just for our own film and we're moving on and do it. And they were like, no, you have to keep going. It was exactly it. And it was like, you made it so I felt like I was a filmmaker. You made me feel like I could make another film. And, thus Dances with Films was born.
And now you've grown to, hundreds of films. Now, what is the screening process? And are you still involved with making sure each person that gets in is there certain criteria?
Well, we're really... Look, we're a non-genre specific kind of festival, which is rare because a lot of the festivals that are successful, that have lasted a long time, they usually have an organization behind them or they have a specific, genre or, some kind of specific aspect that they go with. Whereas we're like, we want everybody in, everybody.
Inclusive.
Yes, we're very inclusive. And so with us, our screening process is rather unique, I think, or at least it used to be back in the day. And the fact is that since we were filmmakers who submitted our films and took our hard-earned cash and then never heard back from the festival or got a generic letter back from the festival, we were like, we're not going to do that. We didn't feel like our film had been seen, so what we decided was that we would make sure the film was watched at least 3 times by different people all the way through. No, like watching it 10 minutes and going, oh, it'll never work, but all the way through. And then what we do that's really different is that if we do pass on your film, because obviously we get more submissions, even in the first year, we got more submissions than what we had slots. But what we do when we pass on somebody is that 1, we personalize it. 2, their title of their film is in there. And 3, we always put a positive comment in there so that they know we saw it and that we appreciated the hard work and everything that it took for them to get their film to the point where they are submitting to us, because we understand that blood, sweat, and tears that goes into it,
That is very unique, and the filmmakers know and feel seen that, they're not just another number. Is there something in particular that over the years has been something that you look for the films that you are definite yes on?
Oh, that's an interesting one because not really. I think the thing is that it's like when it presents itself, all of a sudden you go, wow. Or you see a particular actor and you go, oh, that kid has a potential to be a star, But it's really more about how the whole film affects us, and so it's like, and also we try to do a very a slate that has a little bit of something for everyone, you know? So like, even if we get like 3 amazing romantic comedies or bromances or whatever it may be, we may only program 1 or 2 of them because we want to have opportunities for all the other kinds of films that are out there so that, you know, audiences can find us with, no matter what they like, you know.
And I've definitely seen that from the wide array of filmmakers that I've interviewed tonight. There's a little something for everybody out there.
Exactly.
Oh, this is so exciting. I just see it growing even more. 27 years.
I know. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, it's like we never, like I said, we were like 1 year, one and done. And then all of a sudden they were like, filmmakers were like, no. But I'll tell you a really quick story is one of the things that happened in our second year, which made us realize that we were very important, is there was a film out of Alaska called Kusaha Kwan. And it was an Alaskan film by an Alaskan filmmaker, an all Alaskan cast and crew about an Alaskan fable. And so, you know, when I called up this filmmaker and I said, his name was Sean Morris, and I said, Sean, this is Leslie from Dances with Films. We'd like to invite Kusaha Kwan to actually to screen with us. And he goes, oh, come on, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Leslie from Dances with Films, and we'd like to invite you into the festival. He goes, I'm so tired of this. Don't be, you know, I mean, this, and I'm like, what? He goes, I've been rejected by 17 festivals. Come on. And I went, do you want me to reject you? Because I could, you know, but finally I convinced him. He screened with us in year 2. That film is now housed at the Smithsonian. So we make a difference. We can see something in people that I guess other festivals don't. And it's really a true discovery festival, unlike so many others that are curated. And they say they're discovery, but they're really not. Every submission, every one of our screening slots is open for our submitters. We don't pre-book anything. We don't go to other festivals and go, oh, you know what? Please come screen with us. We don't do that. Everything is considered from our submissions.
That's so wonderful to hear. I know there's a lot of aspiring filmmakers, actors out there. Do you have any bit of advice for them as they try to find their way to a place like this?
Well, I think that first of all is to make sure that you take whatever your whether it's your script or it's your finished film, you know, take a double look at it, because one of the things that we find so often is it's too long. You know, it's too long. You need to get fresh eyes on it that isn't your mom or your best friend or your wife or your husband, your partner. You know, you really need to have fresh eyes on it, because so often, you know, we're like, we get it. You know, I think that they either fall in love with the scene or they fall in love with this aspect or the character, and they just keep things in there that just aren't needed, and you need those fresh eyes. So one of the things we used to say in the old days was like, cut it in half. Not necessarily completely cut it in half, but it is really good to look at it. And then it's always the thing that every one of our panelists, which are industry heavyweights, we do conversations with in our lounge area. Everyone says is don't give up, even when somebody tells you to give up, if you have it in your heart that you want to continue.
Great advice. Thank you so much, Leslie.
Thank you. Appreciate it.